Sorry, I just thought I'd let that one play out. It's a good one. But hi, hello, and welcome. I am back from missing Monday. Sorry for missing Monday. Well, I guess I'm keeping the format like this for a while. Oh, I forgot I was gonna change the colors and all that, but I just got caught up with all this stuff that's going on in my life. School starting, classwork, etc., etc. Also, it's very strange to be I'm turning this down. It's very strange to be streaming later than usual. It feels strange streaming earlier than usual, but even weirder to be later. I feel like I'm late to something important. It's I don't know, if I keep having to do that, I'm gonna have to get used to it. So, alright, this one might be a bit of a short one, just cause I'm kind of tired today, but I did still want to squeeze something like this in, just cause I think it would still be fun. And I wanted to make at least a little bit of progress with this game this week. So this one might be a short one, just a little tidbit. I'm actually, oh my god, before we get started, I'm changing the layout back. Alright, that looks so much better. Okay, cool. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's go ahead and just jump right in. And then maybe on Friday, if I'm feeling a little better, we can, go for a longer one, a longer stream. And since I stream on Saturdays at 5, which is an hour earlier than I usually do, maybe that one could go a little longer as well. We'll see what I can do with the time that I am given. Alright, I've forgotten everything, but apparently we haven't started anything, so it's not like I'm jumping in from the middle of a trial or something like that. So let's just see what Emma's gonna help us recap with. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Hey! Didn't expect to see you here. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope it didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. A hard worker. So, how did it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Oh? A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. So you're saying you're gonna testify? But, Alana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. I'm so... You did not kill anyone, I know it. Hold on just a second. Okay, yeah, as I was saying, she has to be innocent. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. Oh yeah, that's right. We were doing some fun, fingerprint analysis. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? I'm literally indicting Officer Marshall as the murderer. In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Are we gonna see Meekins? I'm a little curious as to, what role he's playing here. Did he really stab a guy? Not too sure. Okay. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. That's true. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? Yeah, what's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yeah, so how did they determine that it was Goodman who was killed? The ID card thing? Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. Telling me. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. So not the parking lot. We have more info on the parking lot, but alright. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Maybe, he's just faking it. Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand, who is... For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Fuck. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? No, that's exactly what I didn't want today. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Okay, let me drink more water for the sake of this voice. Good God, alright. Okay, also a potential volume warning? I don't know. His voice is just very, chaotic. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. No! I can't believe I'm repping this guy. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what would you... Oh, fuck. I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Okay, please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir. As you wish. Just shut up and start talking. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. That's one way to put it. Okay, crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. Did what? That's vague. I have to press that. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Okay. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. What? Like, assault him before he assaulted? What was going on here? What's your thought process? I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Good point. So let's pick apart all the vague stuff. Not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Why? Why would that be? Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. Interesting. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. Aww. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. So you weren't in charge of security? You were in charge of securing the Blue Badger, specifically. Okay, I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Not because you saw a suspicious figure, so it was coincidental? Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I don't want to know about all that, I don't care. Okay, I was doing what I was trying to do, I was saying that, then I did it. Should I be pressing everything? I'm not too sure. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. Man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. Okay, skilled. You took his knife. I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. It's maybe a little less safe. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! Oh, it's so mean. I thought I passed out. Okay. Okay, maybe I should just be pressing everything. So, okay. A pool of his blood, so that was his blood that we caught with the luminol? Not Goodman's? So Goodman didn't bleed out during the crime scene? That was when Meekins assaulted him? Question mark? Okay. I spotted a suspicious man. Alright. In order to enter the evidence room, oh, did you have ID card? You need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. Okay. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? Is it? There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? I mean, we don't have to, but alright. Yes, sir. It's all this shit. That's my number, sir. I see. Uh-huh. But the number, all that shit, is shown as being used twice. Really? Okay, well, this first part makes sense. No, it doesn't. Does it? This part that's blocked by the text box makes sense. That Bruce Goodman entered the thing, and then Mike Meekins came in after him. Yes, the timing's right as well. This is probably when he went to, what? Put the Blue Badger back in? To the evidence room? Relocated him? But then why would he go out afterwards? Anyway. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger into the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. Okay. Really? The time is throwing me off a little bit. So this is the second time when you went to go get him afterwards? I would assume that this is when you went and got assaulted. You wouldn't be thinking about the Blue Badger during that time. It was during that second time when... Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay. Interesting. I was only doing what I was trained to do. Let's poke that a little bit. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's mean. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus. What? Struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be. And she makes a good point. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. Oh. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out. Okay, I think this is the last statement. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. Not too far apart from the murder. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. What, you think he would have been put into a coma? When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him and... I fucked it up. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Okay, he's diligent. Well, we can all rest easy now. Yes, we can. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What the fuck? But I specifically asked if there was such a... I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Poor Edgeworth. He's been really thrown through the ringer this case. Well then, let's have a look. No one's doing anything that he's asking. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. We love this footage. Oh, well, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? That can't be the case, otherwise this game would have been rated M. Okay. It's a slow-going spectacle, but we'll stick through for it. Hello, Blue Badger. I love the handprint on his face. I think it just gives him that little bit of charm. You know, gives him a little bit of character. Hello? Goodman? What are you doing here, I wonder? Okay, oh, glove. Oh, is that the glove that we saw at the crime scene? And that's Goodman's locker, too. Hi, Meekins. Doing a little sneaky sneak, I see. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Poor Meekins. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, okay, okay. Meekins kind of fibbed in his testimony, at least at the detention center. He said he, like, asked Goodman to show his ID. That's so sad. He's ragdolled. But he said that he asked Goodman to show his ID, and then Goodman pulled a knife on him. But in this footage, it looks like Meekins just snuck up on him and didn't say, well, there's no audio, but I'm like, he was being a very suspicious character. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Good question. Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Okay, well that was a clusterfuck of a video. A lot to pick apart there. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone. Although his identity is still a little bit iffy, because we didn't get a good look at their face. In the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. What? Are you asking us to ignore this entire ass piece of evidence? It's like a primary source. No, no. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. No! Mystery man. Okay, hopefully we get to still use the footage. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. Okay, good point. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. And then we'll just snowball from there, you know? The antics will ensue. Okay, that's a useless statement. That's a bit of a loaded statement. I want to pick that apart, but there might be something more important. Okay, the locker you opened is unquestionably Goodman's. No one else could have unlocked it. Let me see what I have. I'm gonna have to present this. I feel like it's just a given. Now that it's a new piece of evidence, so you'll keep that in mind. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Do I have to watch this whole ass thing? I can't fast forward. Wait, was the indicator light already on? Okay, that's suspicious. That's weird. So maybe I should use that to my advantage. I'm gonna save first, and then I'm gonna press the statement before presenting the evidence. So I think I'm gonna actually, let's just try this out. Wait, let's just try this out. Okay, music stopped. I'm on a roll. I don't have to do any more work. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Yeah. Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Oh? Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, what are you trying to pull? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. It's what I was gonna do in the first place, you chump. He would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. Yeah, we shall. I will now play the security tape. Oh god. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. Have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. Yeah, it is a new piece of evidence, like type. You can do it, Mr. Wright. You point at things all the time. It's just using your finger. Set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. Okay, I won't traumatize you too much. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Hard work and determination, sir. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? How do I pause? This. Gotta be, right? Right? I can't save at this point. But yeah. It's that. The thing that's strange about this video has gotta be this. Officer Meekins. Sir! Do you mean me, sir? Yes. As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. Why is that music playing more? Please make it stop. Oh, hey, Gumshoe. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, then that happens. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Or video. You know what I mean? Oh my god, can we speed this up? Just show the still image. Please. Alright. What's up, Goodman? Good to see you again, I guess. Okay, hi. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker... Let's rewind to a little earlier, please, let's not. I have to give props to the dev team for finding creative ways to hide Goodman's face. Like the flag, and the door, etc., etc. I think they did a good job with that. Here! Finally, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. Right, precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah, that's a loud scream. That I'm not going to do, because I'm not in the mood. What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, the sensor is triggered. The locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. That's sophisticated. Oh, well, just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, you. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, you. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something, like, jammed the system's sensor? Something jammed the sensor? Say, I love that sprite of her. I just love the way it's drawn. Anyway, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this fast-forwarding. I'm gonna get to where Goodman opened the locker. I know what it's trying to get me to do. I can see. Okay, and that. Come here, baby. It's you! Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Oh my god. I've slowed it down, for clarity's sake. Yes, and there it is! Money shot. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But, sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out in real great distances when I open my car door, sir. That's charming. We can't be sure that the item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? Oh, so it was like between the door, and when Goodman closed it, it didn't fully register. Well, that's such a big mistake in what would have otherwise been a very sophisticated security system. God. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted? Say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Why do we have to keep looking at this? It's kind of irritating me very quickly. But alright. Anyway. Yep, there it is, for the 80,000th time. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. Oh, but I hate that they're just ignoring him. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Well, lucky for you, I have something in my court record that is extremely thin and also white and also fucking glove-shaped. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, there was a fucking glove hanging to the police tape. You dunces. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I've finally got this figured out. Do you? Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? It be this, Your Honor. There you go. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. How did it... what? No one on the police department caught this? Were you guys that, frazzled? But we can't be sure that it was in the victim's locker. SL9 tag. Eat it. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. That's right. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. I propose that I killed... Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. What do you have to say to that? So are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility, and nothing more. Shut up. Shut up. No, you're not denoting all of the hard work I put into this. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. What? Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Of an inside variety? 'Cause I don't get it. Very well, begin your testimony. You guys have like a secret code? You obviously prepped him to say certain things. Mystery Man 2. Electric Boogaloo. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. But according to what you told us in the detention center, he refused to show you his ID card. So, I'm gonna find a way to worm that information in. My cross-examination. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Yes, that's right. Oh, we're only missing one more person. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Yeah, good point. Why were there so few people using this room? Yeah. Oh, it was to make things easier for the player, so as not to crowd them with unnecessary information. This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? I'm so proud of Gumshoe. He has evidence from certain special cases. Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Oh. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, Emma. Although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. Will do. I think I've got it. Okay. There's a record of it. At the time, the detective had used his card. I think that's something that I should... Well, how can I... bring up the point I want to bring up, right? Do I just need to, like, press Meekins and be like, but you told us he resisted. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that's what I'll do. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the... I'm redoing that line. Earlier, I already fucked it up. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. Hold on. Sorry, my voice was, getting bunk. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? No. Everything stems from contradictions. Point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show him what we've got. In the form of evidence. There's one of it from the proofs. Then one must use their ID card. I'm just gonna press things. And maybe that'll, like, catch me up, get me up to speed. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. That card right next to my cup, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you? Keeping it out in the open like that. Whoa, what? Was Goodman's ID, stolen, mayhaps? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Okay. When an ID card's used, there's a record of it. The detective had used his ID card. I'm saving again. I think I've got it. I'm going to present this. I think it's gonna get us somewhere. And maybe Goodman lost his ID because he left it at the parking lot? Yeah, alright. I think I'm getting somewhere. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. He didn't say anything. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. I do? Okay, yes, I do. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Oh, I love his standing spray. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. That's also why he would refuse to present it to Meekins, because they don't look alike. Right? That would have totally sold him out. And Meekins probably didn't recognize Goodman, because he said he was a suspicious figure. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Uh-huh. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Yeah. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't gonna end well. Stop being so smug. Well. Seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Oh, fuck. Yeah. There's no murder at the evidence room. It's only the murder at the parking lot. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location. I'm sorry for the weird whistle. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment that the defendant used the murder weapon. This is not going well. Maybe I should have thought about that before going too deep into this. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It's all a trap from the beginning. You had this planned from the beginning, from the get-go? Edgeworth, you sneaky. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... Yeah, what do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Should I object? I might object just because that's what Mr. Phoenix Wright is best at, you know? What he knows. What he knows. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. No, of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. That's objectively true. right? So, what am I supposed to say? Hello? I don't need to keep watching this. What am I supposed to be seeing here? Okay. However, anyway, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. Handprint. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. Yeah, and the defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Redworth. Yes, Your Honor. This court were to examine this further. Other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. But I have? This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Pretty please with a cherry on top. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. That's reasonable enough. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? I'm actually gonna end it here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click it, and then I'm gonna, before I read any of the dialogue, I'm gonna save and go back to the title screen, etc., etc. But I'm gonna end it here. But we already know that it's one Mr. Jake Marshall. He's a suspicious man, at least for the time being. We're gonna put him in the hot seat. See what he has to say for himself. Options. Okay, I'm saving. Alright. So, I'm sorry that this one was a little bit of a short one compared to the rest of them. So, on Friday, we're gonna keep playing Case 5. 6 Eastern, like usual. I'm just gonna see how much of that I can do as well. And then on Saturday, we're playing more Baba Is You, which has been really kicking my butt lately. I have not been able to figure out these recent puzzles. If I get too stumped with Baba Is You, we're just gonna go to a different area of the map. Because right now we're at Forest of Fall, but ever since I unlocked, Temple Ruins, it's given us a lot of extra, areas to explore. So if I end up not being able to get through Forest of Fall, I'm not gonna search anything up on the wiki. I'm just gonna move on to something else and see if I can make more progress in a different area of the game. So yeah, those are my plans. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Drink water, have a snack, hope you sleep well, stretch, go for a walk, and I hope you have a good one. I will see you around.